Good day and welcome to Tips, Tricks, and Strategies with Michelle. Wealth Skills, Wealth Minutes with Michelle. Good to see you here. Recently I was asked, the stores are opening, the businesses are opening, so how is it? Is it start of the good times or start of the bad times? Now, I looked at the numbers now, and I want to share a couple of things now with you. What I found today, for example, in the last couple of days, we got some very interesting news about what is really happening. Why is that important? Because we want to understand where is the industry, where is the economy heading to? Why is that important? Because it will affect you and me. It will affect everybody, because we all live in the system. So it is important to understand how we can react to if the storm is coming, if the bad weather front is coming towards us. We should better prepare and get some raincoats, for example, or big boots and warm clothing, so that we will survive. Not only survive, but thrive. And couple of industries are thriving right now. For example, Amazon. So the online stores are really thriving, but many others, retail stores, brick and mortar stores, are really going down under. And let's look at the numbers. Now, retail stores closing 2020, a list of chains a list of chains that have closed amid the coronavirus pandemic. Let's look at that now. So the brick and mortar retail industry has had a rough few years, and now the coronavirus pandemic is causing even more turmoil. Now, the special thing what we see here is that they had a rough few years already. So the coronavirus is not the reason. The reason is the economy, or was the economy, the years before. And the good years were coming to an end. They started to come to an end last year. And a lot of experts have been saying already for a couple of years from now, have a crash. Kentucky announced a crash by 2016. So it was like 4 years too late. But is that really important, whether it's the right year? The importance, I think, is that we understand what is happening and how we can react to that. Now, let's look at the big chains. Now, we got here 24-hour, now 24-hour fitness. 24-hour fitness. They announced in June that it had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, closing 130 gyms. It's a huge gym store in the US. Now, AT&T, telephone, media giant, is permanently closing more than 250 of its stores and 3,400 jobs nationwide in the US. Next one, the big clothing store, Gap. A lot of people love it and love to buy there. They indefinitely suspended rent payments in May, and said some stores may permanently close. They haven't announced how many they will close, but that will be soon. GNC, the nutrition supplement retailer, is filing for bankruptcy and closing 1,200 stores. JCPenney, very old department store, I think more than 120 years old, is filing for bankruptcy, closing 168 stores in the US. Now, especially with JCPenney, they had some management the last couple of years already, so this is just the final push to file for bankruptcy. But look at this. Microsoft, computer and technology giant Microsoft, announced plans to permanently close all of its 82 retail stores. All of them. Very interesting announcement. I do not really believe that they have some money issues, but obviously they don't see the value in having retail stores anymore. So that's very interesting. Good to understand where it's heading to. Neiman Marcus, also Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Nordstrom closing 16 of its department stores, and so on, and so on, and so on. You see the huge list here. Starbucks is closing more than 400 stores within the next 18 months. Victoria's Secrets announced in May they will permanently close 250 stores in the US and Canada. Zara, now a US company, a European company, they announced they plan to close 1,200 stores worldwide by the end of 2021. They also realize that they have to change their industry, the way they are dealing with clients. My question to you is, do you know how you deal with your clients? Are you doing it the same as you have always been doing, or are you adapting? Now let's look at a very interesting number here. Perhaps a kind of a surprising number because of these information we just gathered, it would be very likely that the unemployment rate is rising immensely. But look at the last numbers here. Job gains in the US, the last, down a little bit. Job gains in June, up to 4.8 million more, from 2.7 to 4.8. So it was 13. The unemployment rate was 13. Now it's up to 11%, or down to 11. But let's look at this. This is a very important chart here, and it can also we can also see then there in the future. This here is the Great Recession. This is 2009, where we had the last and the biggest financial crisis last 50, 80 years since 29. Now, you see how fast it went down and how strong. 20.8 million within 2 months, all the way down, and the Great Recession didn't have that huge unemployment rate. So here's a huge spikes to the down and all the way up. So how does this affect you and me? It affects you and me in the way how we handle with this situation. If you believe that the economy is going to get better, then probably you will not prepare for worse time. But if you believe that if you look at the numbers and if you believe that these huge chains are only first wave, then you better get prepared of worse times. And I just want to give some thoughts to you. If those chains are going down, filing for bankruptcy, those chains, how many thousands and hundred thousands of small business owners have already filed for bankruptcy or are going to do that in the next couple of weeks? So this will have a huge ripple effect. And probably some friends, family members, perhaps even yourself, that you are struggling. What are you doing? How do you protect yourself? How do you protect what you have and prepare for the next steps? And it's always important to get great information and good information, and that's why I'm having a webinar. So I invite you to a webinar next week, which go to the website Wealthskills.International/crisis. Wealthskills.International/crisis. It's also the link down below, and you will find it there, and get some information how to beat the crisis, how to beat these times. And I will share other informations which we gather right now, what implementing effects it has for you and me, and what people do to safeguard they have, and not only to safeguard and protect it like a firewall, but also to build wealth. And I will share some strategies. And if you're interested, write down, I'm interested. Now I get some more information. If you want to ask some questions, please raise the questions down at the comment section. Forward to seeing you again. This was Wealth Minutes with Michelle. Tips, tricks, and strategies